hi and welcome back to another episode from the NarrowBoat video channel. My name is Andy Tidy and the purpose of this channel is to share some of the best inland waterways archive video material that's available on the internet. This month I want to focus on one particular area and one particular group of waterways workers, the Thames Lightermen. For some reason, perhaps because the trade persisted until quite recently, or maybe because they are based in our capital city, there's quite an extensive catalogue of material available. So here's my selection, which will serve as an introduction. If you start watching them, I'm sure that the YouTube algorithms will soon start suggesting a wider selection. The first video I want to feature is the Weekend Millionaires, a 45-minute oral history of an industry which at its peak employed 6,000 lightermen. Now, don't be put off by the oral tag. This is a beautifully illustrated documentary which sucks you into the life on the Thames in the 1950s. The heyday when the Thames really was London's larder.
And the thing is about lightermen is that they were vital to the movement of cargo. You had loads of wharfs all the way along the river to get the cargo from ships to where it needed to be so it could be distributed. You needed to use barges, and it was really clever. Just as the Romans did, they used the tides, the 2 tides a day, to use the power of the river to shift things around. That's what lightermen were good at.
When I came afloat in '56, it was very, very busy. There was somewhere in the region of over 100 lighterage companies, probably between 4,000 and 5,000 lightermen.
And when I first started, all the docks, St Catherine's Dock, London Docks, Surrey Docks, West India Docks.
Well, if that video piqued your interest, let me take you back to an earlier 20-minute black and white documentary made in 1963 called The Apprenticed Lighterman. This film follows Kenneth, an apprenticed lighterman, as he learns the ropes among the heaving sea of ships which thronged the docks of London. We follow the training programme which spanned an impressive 6 years, a real old school apprenticeship.
First aboard is the captain. The waterman, whose job is to carry passengers, pulls away. The captain goes down into the engine room to get the engines ready for the day's work.
Now, I spent many years shuttling to and from the financial hub of the modern Docklands. And this video peels back time to the period of my birth. And it reveals just how quickly 400 years of lighterman heritage was swept away by progress. Now, you know how I like to explore the past in the context of what we see today. So for my third segment, I want to feature a 10-minute video made by City Sailing called Changes in the Thames Traffic from 1915 till today. This video was made in the midst of the COVID pandemic. And whilst this may be very recent, it does contain some excellent archive segments. And it pulls together the changes of the last 100 years in a very neat and informative manner. So, the slightly clunkily titled Changes in the Thames Traffic from 1915 till today.
Originally, most of the cargo was unloaded in the Pool of London, which is between London Bridge and Tower Bridge, and then it was taken by lighters. Let's say they're called lighters because they lighten the load of the ship to be discharged at the wharfs. A lot of these lighters didn't have any engines. They're called dumb lighters, and they were rowed by a person with oars. As you can see here, this is the stretch of water just down river from the school. You can see the tugs and the steam tugs and the ships, and there's a lot of activity going on in the river. So to contrast what it was like in 1915 and what it was like today, I took some video of the Port of London this morning in March 2021.
Well, most films seem to end up concentrating on one character, and so it is in my selection of videos about the Thames Lightermen. For my last video, I want to introduce you to the last of the Lightermen. This focuses on one of the few remaining lightermen, a gentleman called Peter Duggan. The previous videos attempted to capture life on the Thames at its peak, but there is still some waterborne freight passing through central London, and this video follows Pete as he goes about his day-to-day work supporting civil engineering contracts along the riverside.
London VTS, Tug Revenge. Yeah, good evening, sir. Peter here from General Marine. We've got pontoons in position up at the London Eye for the night. I can't see me retiring anyway. I think I'll drop dead on the river, me. Now I've got plenty of life left in me, and I think the boats will break down before I will.
Pete is a very engaging commentator, and if you like his insights into his life afloat, I'm sure that YouTube will throw up some other documentaries in which he features. Well, that's it for this month's Narrowboat videos. I apologise that there wasn't a narrowboat in sight, but I think we need to understand the lighter trade, which bridged the gap between seagoing ships and the inland ports of Limehouse and Brentford, if we're to understand the canal trade as a whole. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I'll be back next month with another selection of inland waterways orientated videos which are available on the internet. As ever, in the description field below there is a link to the Narrowboat magazine website. And in the Narrowboat videos page there are links which will take you to all of the videos that I've shown today and in our previous episodes. So for now, cheerio, and I'll see you next month. Bye.